Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Good News Podcast. Today, we have back the Holtom family. I'm going to sit down with my wife, Katrina, and our three kids, Caleb, Cameron, and Leah, and we're going to talk about all things Christmas. That's our goal over the month of December, just to help people think about what Christmas is all about, their Christmas traditions. What makes Christmas meaningful? How do we experience the good news of Jesus coming, God being born among us at Christmas time? What does that look like for all of us? I'm telling you, this one went some places that I didn't even see coming. It is real, it is relevant, it is raw. Let's dive in. Hey, everybody. Welcome. So good to have you as part of the Good News Podcast family today. And speaking of families, we got the Holtom family here today. We're back. We were around for the carnival there in the July. If you didn't check it out, it just encourage you to just sharing some history on the Lucas Holtom Carnival back in July. We had such a good time that we decided maybe it was a good idea to come back. And to be honest, what this is all about, as we go through December, we're going to be having families come on each episode for the Good News Podcast and to share what their Christmas traditions have been like, how they experience the real meaning of Christmas as part of what they're trying to do as a family. So we're going to kick off the series over December. And hey, let's start, guys, with some of the traditions that we have in our house. Some that we love, and if there's some that we don't love so much, you know what? We can be real about that stuff too. But let's let Leah kick it off, because ladies first. And as we know in our house, sorry, Katrina, there's that face, and I'm already sorry. Katrina will be. Do you want to go first? No. Okay, Leah go first, then Katrina, and then we'll just go from there. But Leah is the one in our house, I think, that loves Christmas probably the most. But if that's not true, then let's hash it out. Let's go. But I feel like it's a sports. Thing, and we just want to have to go at each other. But anyway, Leah, yeah, traditions. What do you think? What comes to mind for you?
Yeah, I mean, I'm a huge tradition person around different holidays and stuff. So I do love Christmas traditions, but I have to say it's been hard to get our family on board for a lot of the typical Christmas traditions that a lot of families would incorporate, going all together to cut down the Christmas tree and making a day out of it. That's something I've always wanted to do, but it always feels like I'm pulling teeth.
You're never the one who has to saw down the tree. You just pick it out.
Well, over the years, I've been forced to do it. So, yeah. But I would say one of my favorite Christmas traditions, at least the first one that comes to mind, is probably cinnamon buns on Christmas morning. Because Nana would always make cinnamon buns, and then in the last 5 or so years, she's taught me how to make the cinnamon buns. So now I'm the cinnamon bun maker, and it's just, I don't know. Since we've done them at least for as long as I can remember, it feels like one of the most consistent things and just something to look forward to, especially when I would never have a cinnamon bun for breakfast otherwise. So it's like the one day and they're so good and it's very special. So that'd probably be one of my favorites.
That's cool. And I love that you're naming how traditions get passed on, which actually maybe we can talk more about that. But I'd love to go back to the whole Christmas tree thing, Leah, if we could, because really, I think if we're being real around Christmas, I suspect we're not the only family where there's differences of opinions on what people really want to do and what matters to them. And I think the Christmas tree experience for us is epitomizes that. So tell us a little bit from your view, Leah, what it's like for the Holtom family to go and get a Christmas tree. And then Cam, you know what, you can follow it up with your experience of that, and we'll see where we go from there.
Well, I'll just start by saying it's different every single year, drastically different every year. There's been times where we have gone all as a family, as a kid, and we would go with our cousins and the wider family, where we've done that maybe once or twice. But then there were years where Dad would just be like, guys, I found the perfect one at the grocery store and I brought it home. And I'm like,
done.
What?
Or the gas station.
Or the gas station. Yeah, the gas station. We're like, excuse me? You just bypassed one of my favorite parts of Christmas. And then there's years where I've been so determined that we're just going to do it. So we drag everyone out and, everyone's sulking and just walking around the farm and just hating it. And I'm trying to be all peppy and no one's liking it. And then I get forced to cut the tree because they're like, you made us come out here, so you have to cut it down and drag it back. So I don't know if there's been, they're great memories, but in the moment, I don't know if there's been one that was like, that was the perfect tree cutting experience for me.
I think the word that really struck me as you described it was drag, that you've had to drag the rest of us out. Not the rest. I think mom's in. Mom, okay,
Mom always likes
it. Okay. So we can't lose this one. We got to all kind of have a shot at it. So Cam, let's go. Let's give everyone a chance to talk about what it is like to get a Christmas tree for the Holtom family. Cam, what's it like for you? And then let's go, Caleb, Katrina. I'll try to bring us home. Yeah.
It was definitely Leah dragging me out there. Like, I would not have been there if Leah wasn't kind of forcing us to go. Because for me, it always felt like, I'm just going to go walk around in the freezing cold while Leah tries to pick out a tree, even though all these look the exact same to me. And then I'm going to be the one who has to cut it down and carry it back. So that was the years where you went to the gas station or like Walmart, I was like, those years were the best. I don't know. That's where I stand on it.
Hey, Cam, props, baby. Props. Oh, yeah. Okay, Caleb.
Well, for me, I was like right in the middle. Like, I would probably lean a little bit towards wanting to go get and do the full experience. But for the most part, I was right in the middle. So it was actually really, really amusing for me seeing both sides clash, because I got to see Cameron pouting around, and arguments between you and Leah probably shouldn't be amusing. But looking back on it, it very much was. I can't think of an example, but just like, and I mean, even when with Dad as well, what farm did we go to? Like
the one that was really far away.
It wasn't really far.
Albion.
Yeah.
Oh, that's not too bad.
Yeah. The snowball fight at.
Yeah.
Was it a snowball fight?
That
part was fun.
I have videos of you guys like rolling little snowballs, throwing them up onto the top of the barn and letting them roll down, and then they become a huge snowball and then fall on the ground.
That was fun. That was fun.
That was the tree.
That's the memory that sticks out most to me.
See, everybody can have a good time.
Best tree cutting memory ever.
Yeah. So it was just like Leah trying to get everyone to love it. And once she got past realizing that no one was going to love it, just dragging everyone along.
Anyway,
not really caring.
I don't care if you like it. We're doing it.
Exactly.
We're
going. Cameron hating it pretty much the entire time, except for when there was like hot chocolate or food involved.
And snowballs.
Yeah. Every once in a while.
Although he was so mad last year, we didn't want to hit him because we thought he might really break.
Mom being like the mediator, she's kind of
we can do this.
Yeah.
And just not wanting to hear us fight.
Yeah. And then Dad was also kind of with me, kind of just right in the middle. So me and him just kind of got to fight around the whole time while you guys all just clashed at it. So.
Cool. Okay, let's hear from Mom. Katrina, what do you think?
Yeah, well, I think definitely all this stems from a tradition. I think where that really the fact that in my family we always had a real tree, and I know in your family you did not. So that's where all this is stemming from, and so I think there's always been a little bit of a disconnect because we haven't always bought into the real tree idea.
That is conflict number 2 with this.
Yeah, you know what? I was just thinking.
That's the underlying.
Let's do a vote. Let's do a vote right now.
Okay, bring it on.
It's going to be.
Let's figure out where we stand. Okay. I'm obviously.
Wait.
Fake tree. Okay,
I am totally in vote of a real tree.
Yeah. 1 is a real tree. 2 is a fake tree. 1, 2.
Wait. Can we have option number 3, and that's to keep Mom happy?
No tree. Or
no.
Okay, because that's my vote. Yeah.
I honestly don't know. Like I said, I'm kind of like
you're in between.
I kind of feel like Caleb's deciding factor on this one. A little bit.
I don't know.
Well,
I don't know. Maybe that's going to go undecided.
I'm interested to know what you are, Dad.
Oh my goodness, I'm the one that asked the questions on this. Okay, I don't get it. No, just kidding. It's tough. Okay, so definitely when we grew up, it was a fake tree, and that's the way things rolled. So yeah, you know what? This is interesting though, because it goes a lot deeper than just a tree. Like it's like as you enter into life together as a family, as a couple, you need to be open to different people's traditions, even if they're not the ones that you had. And so I think the blend of what we have for Christmas, I love our Christmas. if I were to vote, I'd probably go for the tree that's already downstairs that you just bring up and you can very quickly put up, and away you go and go on to some other things. However, I am married to a wonderful woman who loves to go get a Christmas tree. So I'll do my very best to make that the best possible. I feel like we've had a good hybrid lately. The Lakeside Garden Center that's just down the road, where we don't have to drive too far, but they still play music and have free apple cider. They're actually, their apple cider is really good. They did. True.
Pre-COVID.
Yeah.
And they had a little cheese tray the one year. That was really nice.
Yeah.
Remember they had that?
Yeah,
The
we
little
found
cheese
that.
tray?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yes.
So
That has been a good hybrid, but I'll have to say last year, Dad and Cameron did not come, weren't around. I don't know where you guys were. So Mom, Caleb, and I went.
This is gonna be a great memory though.
Yeah, we did not have the van with us. We had the car, and we somehow had to get the tree in the car. So we drove over, somehow squished it in the back. We had it like going through the windows. We had to roll down the windows.
and we're talking a Matrix.
Yeah, the
Like
Matrix.
a small
Yeah,
little car.
it's a small car. Yeah.
Tree is going out both ends,
Yeah.
and I am sitting on Caleb's lap in the front seat, and Mom is driving.
Yeah. Luckily, it was only 5 minutes.
Luckily, it was like 5 minutes away.
Yeah.
But that was really funny.
Yeah. And I think you're right, Leah. Like one of the funny things is that every year it is so different. And it's not so
it's not a tradition.
As much as it's
really
a tradition, it's not a tradition because it's so different every time. So so the tree fiasco, I think, will continue on every year.
Oh,
So it's an adventure. So it's our tree adventure.
Absolutely.
That's
our Christmas tree adventure.
Yeah, for sure. No, okay. So what about other traditions, guys? Like what are
That was a long
but actually, it's funny because I didn't realize how loaded that one was, and but there's lots of layers to it, isn't it? It's interesting because I hope we're not the only family. I think we're fairly normal, if you will, that people have different traditions that they come from different families that they've done when they've grown up, and the couple brings that together. Their family create their own, but even within our family, we have differences of what we love to do and how we like to do it. And I think, I think for the most part, we've made it work. Like, even though, and I love how we all know each other and recognize that we have to try to make it work to make it work. If you know what I'm saying. I was going to say something else there. I forget. I know. But what's interesting, and I don't think it's even fair to ask this question yet, because you won't know until you're in your future home, whoever that might be with, or whatever that might look like, or on your own, or whatever it might be. But what will you guys do? That will be very interesting to see. But we'll just kind of let that sit there for now. But guys, I mean, other traditions. I guess the first one that came to my mind, I think, about traditions is like, I'm going to see if you guys can guess it first here. And for those who are watching, listening, like we you probably can tell we haven't talked about this. We're kind of going on the fly here. But it starts with M.
Yeah.
No.
Well, the
Mandarin.
The Mandarin.
The Mandarin.
I knew.
The
I thought you were gonna say
Mandarin.
it.
So
I thought
for
you were gonna
me-
say church. So I was like,
well, we'll get there. We'll get there when we talk about the real meaning of Christmas. I mean, not that Cam, not that the Mandarin isn't the real meaning of Christmas. My goodness, but so I think for me that's about not just the Mandarin, though the Mandarin is amazing. It's about Nan and Papa, my mom and dad, coming and joining us for Christmas every year at our place, starting on the 23rd, celebrating what we call the Eve of Christmas Eve, because Christmas Eve is so different, for us as far as serving in ministry of the church. But Papa, because it's kind of Papa's gift to the family, taking us to the Mandarin every year on that December 23rd, like that. Anyway, that's one of my favorite traditions for sure.
Yeah, that was definitely one of the first ones that came to mind for me too when we started talking about traditions.
Yeah,
Mandarin. I felt like a lot of mine were food related.
Oh yeah, what was some others?
Yeah, when we would make cookies with Granny every year. I always loved that.
Yeah.
What were we made these like really little ones.
the
What were they
pepper
called?
nuts.
Pepper
Yeah,
nuts.
pepper nuts.
You made those last
Those
year?
were like my favorite, and I would eat them like chips.
Oh, I know, because they're so little.
So small, you can just like pop them.
Yeah, pop them in.
Mhm.
Poppers. Yep. Food is a good tradition for sure.
Cool. What about you, Katrina? Yeah.
Well, we definitely named a few. I think I mean, as you say, I think a lot of our traditions they had seasons. Some of our traditions had seasons, and this might be something for later too that I was thinking about. Was for a while there, for a number of years, especially when you guys were younger, was was Advent. Like we'd kind of recognized Advent in some ways, right? So we'd pull out the Advent wreath or the
chocolate calendar.
Not so much the chocolate calendar. I always I know that's what you remember. I know. I was more about the let's have the meaningful Advent calendar.
I remember the chocolate.
I know you did like the chocolate.
I remember the candle wreath.
Yep.
That we made.
Yeah, we made that at we had a little Advent party. We made our wreath and had, every week you'd have a reading or something like that. Yeah, we got to be crafty. I mean, it was pretty funny, but not very good at it. But we did it together, so it was all right.
Okay, so it's funny how we have different traditions. I mean, I remember that as something that would have happened, but I don't actually remember the details of it. Like, how did it work? I guess what I mean is, I can't see all three of our kids being into that all of the time.
No.
Okay, yeah.
No, what do you mean?
You know what? I think we just.
A phase.
I think we lit it on Sunday nights.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
After, like, because we'd go
dinner.
to church and they would talk about whatever it was. So then we'd go home, we'd light it at dinner time. So it was maybe like an over the dinner conversation, because it's like love, joy, peace. So we would, whichever one it was, there might just be a conversation at the dinner table. Like, I think it was pretty informal. Yeah. But it definitely happened for a few years, like when we were more like in middle school kind of thing.
Yeah. Cool.
For
Caleb,
me, and I think mine's so funny because it's such a small thing, but the clementines that you put at the bottom of our stockings.
Oh,
I always like when I think of
Christmas.
Christmas,
That Santa puts at the bottom of your stocking?
Yeah. I think when I think of Christmas morning, I think of the smell of a clementine.
Definitely.
Yeah. No, honestly, me too.
Yeah.
Me too.
That's pretty
Clementines are like only a December thing for me.
Yep.
Oh, I love it. And then
they definitely are a December thing. We don't get them any other time of year.
Yeah.
Nope.
Yeah, I don't know why. And we did hide the clementine and New
Yes.
Year's as well, but that's a whole other thing.
We do a lot around Christmas with clementines.
A lot of clementines.
Yeah. So, but the clementine in your stocking really is Mom's thing. Like, it's Katrina thing. So, like, where did that come from for you?
Yeah, I think that was. I think it's a fairly common practice for those that might do stockings in a way. But I don't know if it's a British thing as well, like, or even European, like my mom being from England, dad being from Denmark. And so typically your stocking was, the purpose of the stocking was very, it was a special time. It was very practical. And to have a piece of fruit in certain times was very special because fruit was hard to come by at certain times. So to have that, so that's why it was a specialty, and to have it at the bottom of your stocking was just, it was just something that you had. So we always had clementines in the bottom of my dad's work sock. That was our stocking.
Nice.
It was an actual stock. Yeah. New work socks, not old ones.
Yeah. Well, one of the, so, I was saying earlier how sometimes your traditions change depending on who you're with. And so in our house, when I grew up, like we'd get up early and kind of go down. Everything was downstairs, including the stockings. But in Mom's family, they had the stockings at their bed. And I have to say, I kind of like that. Like, it's been kind of fun to have the stockings upstairs. You often end up, even now, you'll end up in our bedroom doing the stocking thing, and then we go downstairs and join in and Papa and the rest. But that's that's been good. That's cool.
Yeah, I always love that too, because like I would get up so early in the mornings, and it's like, rather than going and waking everybody up at like 6 a.m, I get to go through my stocking, and that'll at least tide me over for like an hour. Yeah. And then I'll either go into your guys' room or maybe Caleb's or something.
Yep.
Well, you'd restock it too.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, because I got to unpack it for everybody.
Put it back in. Yeah.
So what about traditions? Are there any traditions that you don't like that we've done that you wish we didn't do, or that you'd like to do differently? I mean, I think you mentioned the Christmas tree. You get it, so we all make it work because at the end of the day, we're a family, so we got to honor the differences that we have. But yeah, any traditions that you think, man, I wish we did things differently, or I wish we didn't do that at all?
Wow. You know what? Like, I don't think there's any traditions I don't like, but I think it's because we have so few
Mhm.
like solid traditions. Like the ones we do are like, okay, cool. We do those every year and clearly we all enjoy them. I almost just wish we had more traditions
Mm.
that we did at Christmas
Mhm.
time. And I think a lot of it is a time factor. Like I wish there was like, you know, a day every single year. It was like whatever, the first Saturday of December of every year. It was like we're going out, we're getting the tree, we're coming back, we're setting it up, we're making cookies. Like
Yeah.
I would like every weekend for me would have like a special thing that we're doing for Christmas. And like every year it's like, hey, the second Saturday's coming up, we're doing this, like we're going to like this event or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I just because I love Christmas so much and love the traditions, I want to like soak up as much as I can. So I would just wish that there were more. I don't think there's any I don't like.
Right.
Yeah, I kind of agree. We don't really have a ton. I feel like it partially roots because like our whole childhood, we would spend like a lot of our time at church, so it kind of takes away from the time that families would spend doing those like more normal Christmas traditions. And then because it wasn't like what we did, it just like never became regular or a tradition for us.
Mm-hmm.
And every year is just like so different.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, for me, I think, and we've kind of fixed this just in the past year, our lights. I always kind of like I'd walk home from school and our lights, our Christmas decorations would be quite underwhelming.
Okay, well, it's partly because we get put aside Ken, and he's got like a whole light show going on over there.
We also always wait till it's really cold.
Yeah, and then it's not so much
Well,
fun.
and for a long time it wasn't wheat. It was just
True.
It was just dead.
Yeah, which is not good. Like,
yeah,
because honestly, if I'm being honest, like
he's
I hear you, Leah. Like I love you, and I love the fact that you want more Christmas traditions. But I'm sitting there thinking, oh man, I wish we had less.
Yeah.
That's what I thought too. I was like, we do not need more.
Like
We hardly do anything.
I'm good with what we do now.
All we do is like Christmas Eve and Christmas Day.
yeah.
That's basically it.
Yeah, but no,
Perfect.
this past year we threw the lights on the second story of our house for the first time. Maybe we'll do more this year.
Maybe.
Yeah, I'm getting nervous already.
I know.
Yeah.
And I'll stay in the house again.
Yeah, but yeah, I think for me that would be
Mhm.
what I would have wanted to change in the
Mhm.
past years, but we've kind of fixed that now.
Mhm.
So it's good.
Mhm. Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, cool. Hey, let's talk a bit, guys, about how we experience and celebrate the the true meaning of Christmas. Not that these things are all part of the Christmas tradition and what we do as a family, and yeah, we're all different and it's all good. But because how do we celebrate the Jesus birth? Like, how do we? That's a part of who we are and what we do. How have you seen us do that over the years? And Caleb and I were chatting earlier, and maybe we haven't done enough of that, like, because we are so busy at the church, and it's okay to talk openly about that and just have a chat as we reflect on it, because again, we're changing, like we're changing all the time. It's cool to talk about Christmases and how they've evolved over the years for all kinds of different reasons. But yeah, like how would you see us celebrating that, again, that real true meaning of Christmas as far as Jesus' birth and what's behind it all, if you will.
Can I add one? Can
Yeah.
I just add one thing first? Just in terms of when you were talking about decorations, I think one of the things about our decorations, I mean, I know it might need a little TLC, but our hope, it's hope, right? Yeah.
Joy.
The
Our
joy
joy sign.
The joy sign.
I do put up the
Joy.
joy sign every year.
Joy,
That
yeah.
is like
I love the joy
crush.
sign, and I love that as a decoration, because I think that just speaks to what we truly believe Christmas is about, and the joy of Jesus. So the joy with the O, and then it's got the manger, the silhouette in the middle, and we got that from one of our neighbors that moved, and we said they didn't need it, and we grabbed it because we loved it so much. So
like basically it was on the curb, they were throwing it out.
Yeah, we took it.
But it's awesome.
Anyway, I just like having that as a statement on our lawn, and for a reminder for us too every time we drive in.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah.
For me, I feel like Christmas is like so much about like family and stuff, and I feel like we do a very good job of valuing that like highly by inviting like people from outside of our family that are kind of like extended family to us to our Christmas dinner, who otherwise might not get like a dinner like that where they're sitting down at a table with like their family. So like Jim and Sherry, Steve and Marianne at times, it's like whoever we've had over the years, we always like welcome them in open arms. So I feel like that's always really cool.
Joining together. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I'd say for me, it's definitely just like being at church and all the things that I'd be involved in at the church during Christmas time. I mean, especially last year, obviously, when I was working at the church, but I've been involved every year, like pretty much my whole life, whether it's the kids choir, the adult choir. That was a huge year when I got asked to be a part of the adult choir. But every year I'm doing something, the Christmas concerts, singing on Sunday mornings, getting ready for Christmas Eve. I feel like that's what definitely, I don't know, gives me more of the Christmas spirit when I'm there working on those kinds of things. And in the environment, I think it's always so beautiful when the church is like fully decorated. And I know for years, Mom and I would go and they would have their women's group that would meet on a Monday, and they'd take one of the Mondays to decorate the whole sanctuary. And I always loved being there for that. And I don't know, it's just like when you're in a huge space like that, that's like totally decorated and feels just as comfortable as your like actual home. It's, I don't know, it feels like bigger and grander. So I just find I feel more of the Christmas spirit there. And then Christmas Eve for sure, when, I don't know, I always found it just felt like a magical evening, like being at the church for Christmas Eve services. And I don't know, everything just seemed like a little bit different than a typical Sunday morning. And again, everything being decorated, decorations are huge for me too. All the lights, they just add to the atmosphere. So I'd say just all the things I would be involved in would help me just keep reminding me what the true meaning of Christmas is, because I'm just around it all the time. Even if I was in school or doing other things, I would always be there at least once a week, usually more for different rehearsals and stuff. So yeah, it was always sort of pulling me back.
Well, I kind of have the same point of view there, but almost like my feeling is kind of like, because I've been so surrounded by it my entire life, it's kind of slipped my mind sometimes. And it kind of, I don't know if just feels like another Sunday is the right word, because it doesn't. It's obviously very different. But obviously I'm not involved as some of you guys are. I'm starting to be, but it just kind of feels like there's a lot of prep, and it's a lot of, I mean, you know, especially time and hard work. Like there's a lot that goes into these services. And so, yeah, just it's kind of slipped my mind sometimes. So I think actually talking about this here, and I've never really asked myself that question. So I think moving forward, I'm going to be paying a lot more attention to it.
That's cool.
Yeah, cool, buddy. Yeah. I want to hear from. I'd love to hear from Mom, but also we're talking about how we experience, you know, the true meaning of Christmas, or what, you know, what it's really all about. Love to chat a little bit. Again, want to give Mom a shot here at how we do that. What is the meaning of Christmas? And yeah, that would be a cool conversation to have, guys. So just giving you a heads up on that one. Yeah. Yeah. Katrina.
So I'm still talking about
okay. We want to give you a shot too. Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, I think as many of the things we've said, like every year is kind of different, but definitely preparing for Christmas Eve services is always a you know, just a great way to get into that mindset, because you have to start usually pretty early. Definitely musically, choir songs start pretty early, and just having those songs going through your head, and you know, some of them are not your traditional carols, but they're really beautiful, and they just speak the message in such a beautiful way. And so that's always I always appreciate that. And like I said, I think doing some of those, I mean, we haven't done them all the time, and we're more intentional maybe when the kids were younger, some of the Advent stuff. And so that was throughout the month of December, so that it wasn't just this pile on Christmas Eve and we didn't talk about it throughout. So I was always wanted to make sure we had that conversation, more often than just on Christmas Eve, as things led up to it. So I think those two things, as far as keeping the meaning. I mean, it was always great when the kids were younger, you guys were younger, and just, all of you, I think, had some beautiful things to say as you were younger, about what you saw in Christmas and what you saw about the birth of Jesus, as you maybe experienced different things at church. And so you all definitely had some great things to say in that innocence of being young. And so I think that's cool, because I feel like that, that's not going to go away, that's something that's going to be there, even if it's not at the forefront of your mind. I think Caleb's probably has the famous one, that we talk about, the one about, if it's Jesus' birthday, then why do we get the presents? So
Dad's like, yes, Caleb, exactly.
I'm pretty sure it didn't sound exactly like this, but I'm pretty sure going through my head, like, don't get me wrong, I still want the presents.
Yeah.
I think you followed that up pretty quickly.
You're just working it out.
But it was it was a pretty deep reflection for a young boy, for sure.
Exactly.
I feel like the big part of like gifts around Christmas time is like, it goes back to that question, like, what is Christmas about?
Thanks, Ken.
I feel like it's a lot about spreading joy and stuff. And I don't know about you guys, but when I like give a gift that someone really likes, like, that gives me an amazing feeling inside. So I feel like that's kind of a big reason for the gifts around Christmas.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So have you started shopping yet this year, Ken?
I'm gonna give it another like 3-4 weeks.
Okay, just checking in. No, but that's cool. Yeah, Leah, go. Yeah, I think you were.
I totally agree, Cam. Like, for me, I'd say that Christmas is really like the one time of year that I see collectively, like, just everybody, not just our own family, just everyone around us, kind of stepping outside of themselves a bit, where people are just like more selfless than any other time of year. And I think it incorporates all of the, like the weekly Advent sort of big topics, right? Like love, peace, joy, hope. I think people, whether or not they realize it, they experience that a bit more through just this like extra generosity and this selflessness and this awareness of other people around them. I think it's like, I don't know what the stats would be, but I'm sure like any organization gets the most donations at Christmas time, right? People are more apt, more willing to share and just like, I don't know, have this collective experience together and want everyone else to be able to share in that. So I think that's what Christmas really means to me. And it's always exciting to see that and feel that energy throughout the month of December. Even with people you don't know that you're just passing on the streets, like everyone's sort of feeling the Christmas spirit and feeling that sense of joy and hope and love and want to share that with everybody that they come across. And I think that's pretty special, whether whether they're going to church or thinking about it in a religious way or not, they're kind of experiencing that, and everyone is being a little more generous and selfless.
Awesome. Yeah, Katrina.
I wanted to add something that you made me with the giving. I thought like caring and sharing, that's been here at the church. That was often something that we would participate in, and when you were younger too, and then as you got older, you were maybe doing it. I know Leah did it with one of your classes at school when you were in high school, which was really cool. So that having those opportunities to do that, and again, make that part of your Christmas.
It's a huge part of it. Part of it. And I'd say a huge part of it for me, especially, like I do love that aspect of it. I know everyone in our family and anyone who knows me well, I do love gifts, but I love giving them just as much, if not more, especially now as I've gotten older, than receiving them. So I love to feel that sense of generosity as well at Christmas time. And I love to give back because I'm thinking more about it. And I've sort of been able to extend that throughout the year too. which is great. Just that
Mhm.
kind of generosity and giving to things that I,
Yeah.
I want to give to. But
Mhm.
yeah, it's definitely big for me at Christmas in terms of the meaning of Christmas. I feel like it kind of can sum up all of those other aspects of Christmas through
Mhm.
generosity.
Yep.
Yeah. Sorry, were you going to say something more?
No,
No.
that was it.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Let's close with, and I think all you guys, all that we're saying, guys, here really does reflect what the Christmas story is. That God has come and given all, entered in fully, and we just model that and experience that when we both give it and receive it. And yeah, I think for me, there's always a moment along the way where, as I'm reading through this Christmas story, often in preparing for Christmas Eve, to be honest, and Sunday mornings throughout December, there's a moment that along the way where I just realize how amazing this is, that God chose to come among us. And we haven't talked about pain, but the world is often in pain. We've had our own pain in our house, in our family over the years too. And it also reminds me that God came and entered into all of that as well, which is pretty amazing. Yeah. Because there's parts of me that Christmas can be really stressful, and just with all that's going on. But there's always this moment along the way where it's like, yeah, okay, that's what it's about. That's awesome. Yeah. Okay, let's close with this, guys. A little bit of rapid fire here. We'll go around quickly if we could. Yeah.
I always love these.
You guys love these? Yeah, cool. Just a favorite Christmas moment, or even a memorable one. It may not be a favorite because it could be one that wasn't so good. But just something that comes to mind that we haven't talked about, that when you think about Christmas past, that's been a part of it. Yeah. I got another one real quick after that. Yeah. Okay. Let's go just so we have a little bit of order here. Let's. Oh, Mom wants to go first.
Yeah, I'll go
I was gonna
first.
let you go last. Okay, cool.
No, I'll go first. If it's just rapid fire, memorable Christmas, and this kind of goes with the, not every Christmas, you kind of had some pain, and so the first Christmas that after Lucas passed away, definitely didn't feel like we could do Christmas just the usual way, and so that was the Christmas that looked for something else to do on Christmas Day, and went to the Family Life Resource Center and sort of had a Christmas morning with the moms and kids there, and took some crafts and sang some songs and had some food, and did that on Christmas morning. And so that was memorable. And I think I just, as you were talking about painful Christmases, I know that, people will have experienced loss. And I think approaching a season like Christmas can be really hard. And so something that was really important to me was to think, how am I going to make it different? Because it is different. So we can't have it just the way it would be. And that was really important. So even though I knew that day was coming up and it was going to be, it's going to have its painful moments because of the day that it was, but kind of being proactive and thinking about how to make it different, and doing something for someone else was really, it turned into a really great day. So, so that definitely is a memorable Christmas.
And amazing the way God blessed that one, because we've still got a beautiful relationship as a church with the Family Life Resource Center, that in some ways it was there a bit before that, but that really took it to a different level. Gil?
Oh, I'm struggling with this one.
Do you want to pass and come back to you?
Yeah, I think someone else is gonna have to.
That's all right.
Okay,
No.
'cause
So
Gil's not a rapid fire kind of guy.
No.
Well,
Leah?
no.
Okay. Just a Christmas moment, kind of a random one. I forget. I forget how many years ago this was, but we went with Steve and Marianne one year to this like nativity. I don't even know what it was called. Like we were basically
it was
on like
outside.
a tractor ride. Yeah, it was outside. We were on the tractor ride at nighttime.
And it was the Christmas story.
Yeah, I was telling the Christmas story through this like tractor ride, and you'd get off at different stops, and there was music playing the whole time, and you were going through like, little like alleyways with Christmas lights and everything decorated around you. I just thought that was really fun and really cool. I don't think we ever did it again, but like once it happened, like it was something that I remember wishing we could do every year. I
Tradition.
just loved it. Yeah. Yeah. I
just-
just wanted to do it every year. Every second Saturday, we're going to go to the nativities. But I don't know if they did it again, but I just thought that was really cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, cool. Thanks, Leah. Cam.
Yeah, first thing that kind of came to my head is one year I gave Nana like a gift, and every year I would give her like a $5-10 Tim's gift card because she loves Tim's. But this year I put it inside like a little box, and I'd cut up a bunch of hearts and put them inside, and I call it a box of love. So I gave that to Nana, and she started crying over it. So I've always just thought that was like really funny, and I've been so proud of that gift. I'm like,
Yeah.
And it was great because
people who are listening couldn't see that, but I did a fist bump.
I'm pretty sure I remember the Tim's card was under, like she couldn't see the Tim's card at first.
Yeah, she thought it was just the hearts.
It was just the heart.
And she was so happy.
like cut up paper.
Yeah, she was happy enough with that, and it was like a little dollar store box of love. She probably still has it.
I bet she does. I bet she does. Yeah. All right, Kale, back to you. Yeah.
I still don't have
You
one.
don't-
I still
No?
don't have one.
Like, we gotta do
Next rapid fire.
Dad,
Yeah,
You haven't got
you have one, Dad?
I got two if I could.
Oh,
Okay. Well, so one actually was before you guys. It was when Mom and I were first married. I would call it the worst Christmas ever.
Oh, the worst.
We tried to do it all in a very short period of time. So to see my family, to see Mom's family, and we had two different churches that we were involved in at the time, and it was just a mess. Like it really was the worst Christmas ever. And we decided that we just could never do it like that again, and just spread Christmas out a little bit more instead of trying to pack it all into like 24
day.
hours or a couple of
Can't
days.
do it.
So that'd be one. And then last year, actually, and Lee, I think you'll remember this because it was COVID. It was so different, right? So that makes it very memorable. Like us being at home on a Christmas Eve all night. And yeah, we were online and we were hosting online some services and stuff and did communion live from home, but like we were home. And so that was just so different and memorable. And then part of that was like recording Christmas Eve. Like, what was it, Leah? It was at least 3 weeks out. And I'll never forget that recording because we stopped after each little piece and played a song. It was just to be so present in the midst of the Christmas story and what it really means. It was all about. I just found it very moving. Like I found it so powerful for myself personally, just as we recorded it. It was a very special moment that I'll never forget. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Especially when you probably came in so worried that like, oh man, am I going to be able to be in the right headspace with it being like, I think it was the first week of December. It might've even been November. I can't remember, but it was far away from Christmas Eve. So
but it was special.
Yeah,
it was
but
special.
it was, yeah.
Okay, I'm good to go.
All right, Caleb.
Okay.
Yeah, baby.
I got
Good
two
memory.
of our Santa gifts. So
Oh, there's the face.
so the first one was I asked for a keyboard one year. And
and you got one.
I did get a keyboard and I loved it.
Oh, good.
I remember loving
okay.
it. Yeah,
Phew,
no. But it was a pretty small keyboard. I'm pretty sure it was probably missing an octave on each side. And it was not
Wasn't
top of the line
No.
quality or anything. but I just still really loved this keyboard because I just wanted one so bad. Okay, and then the second one was it last? It might have been last year or the year before, but I got a huge bin of cheese balls.
Oh,
okay.
As
That
my
was
Santa
the
gift.
that was the substitute Santa.
And and I love that
tell
too.
me you didn't like that one just as much, Caleb, as the keyboard.
Oh yeah, I love that one just as much.
Yeah.
Yes.
Dad did too.
Well, let's put that under the umbrella that God can surprise us. You just never know. You just
Yes.
never know. Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome, guys. Hey, well, thanks for being a part of it today, guys. Great conversation. The Holtom family, the good, the bad, the ugly when it comes to Christmas. If nothing else, we were real today, guys, and appreciate that. And I think you get a sense of it takes work sometimes to make it work when we're all so different. But looking forward to trying to keep working it out.
Yeah.
I'm looking
We'll
forward
see
to
what this Christmas brings.
looking forward to looking forward to this Christmas and being together. It's been such a couple of years of
Yeah.
change. Like last year was so different, COVID. This year, things are a little bit, back to somewhat normal. And, not everybody's in the house now. You guys are not here. So
Exactly. I was gonna say it's also like very different because COVID was like our new normal.
mhm.
So it was a big switch when we left.
Yeah, exactly. So it'll be nice to have everybody back.
Mhm.
Mhm. Yeah,
Absolutely.
Well, I'll start
Very
planning some
excited
of
for
our
it.
traditions.
Okay.
Excellent. We'll get them on the
Leah,
calendar.
all things traditions.
I'll send you
We'll
an
do-
email in the next few
and
days.
we'll do our best. We'll do our best to fall in line.
Yes,
Yeah. Awesome.
exactly.
Hey guys, let's pray to close and just give thanks for all this
Mhm.
and what is still to come. Yeah. Oh God, thank you for the opportunity just to delve into what Christmas has been and some of the traditions we've experienced, and you just realize how much has happened, how much happens every year, and sometimes just those little things that become really important to us. And to thank you for the way your love rises up in the midst of all of that, and for the opportunity just to think a bit about how do we celebrate Christmas? How do we enter into what it's really all about? You coming, your love for this world, and how do we share that love with a world that is in so needing of this incredible love. So thanks for all that we've said, and look forward to more Christmases to come. We just entrust them to you. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
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 Awesome, guys. Well, thanks again. And thanks everybody for joining us on the Good News podcast. Hope you can join us next week. We're going to have another family, not the Holtoms this time, talking about their Christmas traditions and how they celebrate the real meaning of Christmas, and just hope it inspires and encourages us as we move through December and into this Christmas 2021. God bless you, friends. Thanks for being with us. Okay, we could have probably just talked about the Christmas tree thing all podcast long, the whole episode. Man, I as I said earlier, I didn't know this was going to go to those different places. It was interesting myself just to be a part of that conversation with my own family. You know what our hope is for this December, as you listen to these podcasts, that this helps you think and talk with your own family about what are the traditions that are important to you. How do you experience Christ's birth in a way that's more meaningful than ever before? That's our hope for you. This helps you think about those things. But I just got to tell you, I hope it's okay to say, I love my family, and I know we're different. You heard that in the podcast. We wrestle with things. We don't always get along. We want to do things differently and see things differently. It can be challenging sometimes, but maybe that's what family is. Loving each other even when it's hard to get along. I don't know, but I'm grateful for the different personalities in our family. I can't wait for Christmas. Be interested to see how we get our Christmas tree this year. We'll let you know. But love to you. Thanks for being part of the Good News family. Merry Christmas. It's going to be a great December, and I hope you can join us next week as we sit down with a couple who have just recently been married over this past year, Joanna and Malcolm Mcpherson, as they head into one of their first Christmases as a couple. I think it's going to be really interesting. Hope you can join us. God bless you, friends.